Hey, it's Jack here, and this is my first video on the channel, and I decided to do what if Deku was, or had Nightcrawler's powers, because Nightcrawler is cool. So, I think what I want to do first is go over his powers, and then get to his life. So what I'm doing right now is I have the Marvel Wikipedia page pulled up on Nightcrawler, because I don't remember a lot of his powers. So here we go. Abilities. He can teleport, duh. He has enhanced agility, flexibility, and night vision. Tail, prehensile tail. He can cling to surfaces, kind of like Spider-Man. And superb acrobat, fencer, and actually, okay, forget that last one. I think I'll have to learn that. I don't know. Alright. Oh, and you've seen Nightcrawler, he has like two giant fingers and then a giant thumb, and then his feet look kind of weird. Yeah, I'm gonna change that and make his hands and feet look normal, but that's not going to affect his performance in any way. It's not going to slow him down. They're just gonna look like normal feet and hands. But he is gonna be blue. He's gonna be a blue boy, and he's gonna have a demonic looking tail. Alright, so let's get into it. Midoriya's parents are actually going to be Azazel and Mystique, because those are Nightcrawler's parents in canon. But Azazel is actually going to be a good guy. Azazel is actually going to be a hero, a pretty good hero. And Mystique is also going to be a hero. So his parents are both heroes. Alright, let's get in the story. So when Izuku was born, the doctors who were helping give birth to him already saw that he did have a quirk. Because when he came out, he looked like a little blue devil with a little tail. Which didn't shock or scare the doctors, because friggin' Azazel was in the room. Azazel was in the room, and they were assuming, or they were betting, that a mixture of Azazel and Mystique's quirks. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Okay, pause. So in this world, there are quirked people. There are quirkless, but there are also like 80% of the world has quirks. I'm gonna say 15% of the world are mutants, like in the X-Men, and the other 5% are normal people, like quirkless people who don't have the X gene, so they're not mutants either. And in that world, a lot of people, when they do what if Sword Deku is a mutant, they usually make mutants either they don't know about mutants, or mutants are really discriminated, like they are in X-Men canon. But I'm not going to do it like that, because I would see it as people just going with the quirk singularity theory, where quirks will get so powerful that it will end up destroying the Earth, I think it was. And they'll assume, oh, this is just a more evolved version of the quirked person, which it basically is, because mutants are more evolved humans. Or I think. They have the X gene, but they needed to be more evolved for the X gene, I think. I don't know, I don't remember. But I'm gonna say it was like that. So they're not discriminated. Mutants are generally more powerful than quirked people, because mutants don't have, like, if a mutant had fire abilities, they wouldn't get burned or affected by their own flames, and they wouldn't get affected by other flames. However, they would be susceptible to cold temperatures and someone with either an ice quirk or an ice mutant ability. Like, so, yeah. Anyway, back to it. The doctors were assuming their child to either be a mutant or have a quirk. And Midoriya Deku has the X gene. And okay. Now, I'm going to time skip to when he is 4 years old, and they're at the quirk doctor. The quirk and mutant doctor, I think it would be, actually. Because he would have to determine whether they have a quirk, they're a mutant, or they're quirkless. So, yeah. Is that the quirk/mutant doctor? And they're evaluating to see what his powers are. Now, Azazel can teleport. Actually, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Azazel's ability are teleportation, superhuman agility, night vision. He has a healing factor. He is effectively immortal. Or he is immortal. He has immortality. He has telepathy, hypnosis. He is a master swordsman. And he is a master of dark arts in the X-Men, but I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to say magic. Yes, it would exist, but nobody knows about magic. Let's just say. So the doctors were expecting a mixed, either him to have a quirk, or they were expecting or the quirk doctor, mutant doctor, was expecting a mixture of their mutant abilities, or expecting him to have a quirk. So when they were having him evaluated, they would discover that he has a mixture of mutant, he has genetics from both, or mutant genetics from both. He is blue like Mystique, and he has some of his father's powers, like teleportation, enhanced teleportation, his tail. His night vision, flexibility, and agility. Is what they found out. And I'm gonna say how they were testing him is I would say how they found out about the teleportation is they were gonna take a sample of his blood, like run genetics and shit. And Deku got scared of the needle, because who wouldn't? He's like 4, who wouldn't? When the doctor pulled out the needle, he got scared and jumped a little in fear and accidentally teleported onto the ceiling and was just kind of hanging out on the ceiling as if he were Spider-Man. Just kind of shivering in fear. Who wouldn't be afraid of needles at that age? So yeah. I would say he wouldn't be bullied. Okay, I'm gonna go to time skip to when he's in school. Like when he's in school, like next day, I think. Yeah. He'd be put down on the doctor's, or on his medical file, as being a mutant. And yeah. So, time skip next day. I don't think he would be bullied by Bakugo, because, well, he was bullied by Bakugo for being quirkless. I don't think he would be bullied by Bakugo for her being a mutant, per se. Like, don't get me wrong, there are people in the world who think mutants should not exist, or don't like mutants. They're racist towards the mutants. I don't think Bakugo would be one of them. I don't... Actually... You know what? I'm gonna do it like this. Deku didn't act... Because both of his parents are actually really good heroes, I think, like, Azazel would be in the top 10 of heroes. I think it would be, like... I'm gonna say Azazel. Azazel is, like, number 3. The number 3 hero. And Mystique is not as high because she's a shapeshifter, and that's pretty much it. Well, that's almost it. She's pretty good with guns. I'd say she's in, like, the top 50. She's, like, number, like, 45 in heroes, which, don't get me wrong, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. So, yeah. I would say that he would go to the same school as Todoroki. Todoroki... Actually... Yeah, he would... Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. He would go to the same school as Todoroki and Momo. He would go to the same school as those two. Momo is rich as frick, and Todoroki is the son of the number 2 hero. So I don't see why the son of the number 3 hero wouldn't be going to a pretty high prestigious school. So yeah. How do I do it like this? Okay. So, since Midoriya was at the Quirk/Mutant Doctor, I think he would be a little late in the school year to start. I'm gonna skip 20s 6, and he's like starting school or some shit, like 6 or 7, and he's starting school. Yeah. Say he would be. Let's say. So he would be just now going to that school. He was at, I think he would be at, like, wouldn't be at the same school as preschool as Bakugo, but he would be a different preschool. So the teacher says, okay, so teacher would say, okay, students, we have a new student today. And we have a new student today. Izuku Midoriya, please, hold on. Okay, I need to check something else. Okay, I'm back, sorry. Sorry I keep cutting out. So, Azazel doesn't have a last name in X-Men canon, I don't think. So I'm gonna use Mystique's last name. Okay, Mystique's full name is Raven Darkholme. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's like Darkholme. But the O has like 2 dots above it, and I think that's like an axe, like supposed to make it sound different, but I have no idea how to pronounce it. So, yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna call him Deku, but can if someone watches this and in the comments, could you please give me a last name for him to use? Because I don't know. Because if not, I'm just gonna say Azazel's alter ego last name is Hisashi Midoriya, because I have no idea what else to use. So I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna call him Deku. Insert whatever name I end up choosing here. We have a new student today. Deku, would you please come in? Insert whatever name you want. Because I'm on creative right now. It's 8:30. Midoriya, Deku would come in, and everybody would be interested by his... Well, everybody would be interested. I think a few people would be a little scared because he kind of looks like a devil with his tail. I don't think everybody would be too scared, because mutants and quirks are a thing. But Izuku would come, his name is Izuku. Izuku would come in and introduce himself. Everybody would hear his last name, or not his last name. Actually, no. He would introduce himself, and everybody would be asking what his quirk is. What his quirk is, or if he's a mutant. Izuku would say that he's a mutant. He's a mutant. And they'd be asking him what he can do. What are his mutant abilities? Izuku would then proceed to teleport to the back of the class, or teleport around the class, leaving blue smoke behind him, and leaving blue smoke behind him and a bamf sound every time he teleported. And then he would jump. Then he would stop, jump up to the ceiling, and cling onto the ceiling, or cling onto the ceiling with his feet. And then then jump off the ceiling, jump off the ceiling, land on the ground safely, and everybody would be very shocked and impressed at the same time, because I don't think anybody in that classroom would have. I don't think any 7-year-old in that classroom would have seen someone do that. So yeah. I'm time skipping a lot because I don't want to stay when they're kids. Okay, so I'm gonna time skip to. I'm gonna time skip to when they're like 10 or 11, like in that area, like 10 and 11 in that area, whatever grade it is, I forget. And I know, yeah, Shoto is in the class, and Izuku and Shoto are on. Well, I wouldn't say they're friends, but they're more acquaintances. They know of each other. They actually respect each other a little bit because of how powerful they are. Yeah. Then, as class starts, the teacher would say that they have a new student, and she would ask the new student to please come in. And a girl with black hair and a ponytail, or a girl with black hair put into a ponytail, would come in and introduce herself as Momo Yaoyorozu. Everybody again would ask her what her quirk is, or if she's a mutant. Oops. She would say that she has a quirk, and she would say it's a creation quirk. I have a creation quirk. She would go on explaining how her quirk works. I would say since they're all 10, they wouldn't get all how it works, because in my experience, 10-year-olds are freaking idiots. Not as much as idiots as 7-year-olds, but let's be real here. 10-year-old nowadays is gonna be a fucking idiot. Yeah. Midoriya would be not Midoriya. Izuku would be pretty interested in it, and also interested in her quirk. Side note, I'm not doing a Midoriya and Momo ship. I'm not doing it. I mean, I wouldn't mind that ship, but I'm not gonna do it. I have another ship in mind. And if you can guess it, good for you. Here, I'm gonna give you a hint right now. Who else in the class has odd colored skin? Who else in class 1A has odd colored skin? I'll just leave it there. Alright. I would say that Momo would see Midoriya and be interested by him because of his appearance. The fact that he has a tail, he's blue, he has pointy ears like an elf, and probably just being 10, she hasn't seen anything like that before. She was thinking in her head, wow, I haven't seen anything like that. He looks like an elf or a blue devil. Have I seen anybody that looks like a devil? before? She's trying to think. That pops into her head. The hero is Hazel. He looks like a devil. Wait a minute. I'll ask him after class. Time skip to after class. Bell rings. It's the end of the day. Woo, we're going home. It's a Friday. Says Midoriya. Says Izuku in his head. It's Friday. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go to sleep. So let's say he wasn't able to sleep the previous night. Then as he was about to walk out of the class, he'd be stopped by Momo. Momo would ask him, "Hey, you look similar to the hero Azazel. By any chance are you related to him?" Izuku would look to his side and see the black-haired girl that walked in this morning. Or the new student that walked in or Momo. Izuku would say, "Yeah, actually, he's my dad. So I guess I am related to him." Momo. Alright. Okay, sorry I keep pausing. I'm coming up with this on the fly if you can't tell. So I didn't think to script it like an idiot. So I'm gonna say this happened. Nobody in the class, nobody in the class besides Shoto knew that Deku was Azazel's son. So most of the people, and everybody was still in the class, everybody would go silent, look at Midoriya, and immediately run over to him and start bombarding him with questions. And Momo would just have a confused and what's the word? She'd be confused, shocked, and guilty at the same time. Because because she's smart, it would click in her head. Wait a minute, nobody knew, and he just said that out loud. Oh god, I gotta apologize to him later. So after, in the middle of Izuku being bombarded with questions, he just decides screw it, and then teleports home. Because he doesn't live that far away from the school. Actually, yeah, he doesn't live that far away from the school, and plus, the highest number in here the furthest from what I could find, from the furthest I could find, the maximum, I'm pretty sure, I know in the comics, Nightcrawler could teleport between dimensions at one point. I'm gonna say Izuku cannot do that. He cannot teleport in between dimensions. That would be too overpowered. But Nightcrawler's maximum limit of teleportation seems to be 7,853 miles. Is his absolute maximum limit, from what I could find. Besides dimension hopping, but we're not doing that. Which, that is an insane distance, but I'm going to say he is not able to do that yet at all. Not even close. I'm going to say his max teleportation distance as of right now is 50 miles. He can teleport 50 miles is his max amount without running the risk of passing out from exhaustion. Like, if he pushes it, he can go about 100 miles as of right now. But the max amount without it starting to get uncomfortable for him to teleport is 50 miles. So I'm going to say he lives somewhere under 50 miles away from the school, so he just decides to teleport home. as he gets home, whenever he gets home, he is greeted by his mother and his father, which is odd because normally, considering they're heroes, normally they get home a few hours before he gets home from school, even with the walk home, or even with the bus ride home, or not the bus ride, the train ride home. Well, he's confused. He's asking, how did you two get home before me? You usually hear about about a few hours after I get home. But they would say that they actually got a day off today. They actually had a day off because I would say Azazel okay. I know Azazel is not known for doing this, but I'm gonna say Azazel accidentally teleported himself a little too close to a wall. So I'm gonna say his arm got teleported into the wall, but I'm gonna say Azazel is quick enough to realize, oh shit, my arm's in a wall, and teleports immediately out of it, but not without some consequences. So I'm gonna say his arm is like almost completely broken. And I know there's mutants and quirk people with healing abilities that are pretty powerful. So I'm gonna say it's like his arm's like in a big cast right now. And Izuku's like, Dad, how? How did you teleport? Oh shit! How did you accidentally teleport yourself into a wall? Azazel's like, I'm not entirely sure. It just sort of happened. I guess I lost focus. I guess I lost focus when I was teleporting. That, or they had just recently built that wall. Because I know something that Azazel and Nightcrawler can do is if they can teleport as far as they can see, or if they've been there before, or if it's in the range of 20 miles, or range of 50 miles in Izuku's case. They have to have a general idea of where their teleporting looks like. And I'm saying, where Azazel was about to teleport, they had just recently built a wall, so he didn't know. So his arm teleported into the wall, and he got out of it pretty fast. So yeah, that's about what happened. And Midori is just trying not to laugh hysterically at his father's mistake, even though his father is a very good pro hero. So yeah. Izuku says, "Well, I'm gonna go upstairs do my homework and then watch some YouTube or watch some Netflix. And you, Dad, yes, stop teleporting into walls, son. Boy, I swear, I'm gonna hit you." That Izuku immediately teleports up to his room. I'm not fighting that thing. So yeah, after Izuku's done with his homework, watch a bit of Netflix, because who the hell doesn't love Netflix? Goes down for dinner, eats dinner, and goes to bed. The next day, while walking to school, because he doesn't feel like teleporting in the morning, he see Momo runs up to him before they walked into the school building, and apologized to him for yesterday, for making him yell that out. And Izuku says, "No, don't worry. It was bound to happen eventually. I mean, I already told Shoto. I think his dad's number 2. Seriously? Yeah. A lot of heroes' kids go to this school. You didn't know that? No, I didn't. Well, you do now." So yeah. I'm gonna say, okay, time skip to the last day of middle school. The teacher I'm not gonna do the thing with the teacher because that happened in the other school. So because this is a high prestiged rich boy school, I'm gonna say the teacher calmly and collectively handed out the papers, and everybody filled out where they wanted to go without making a big mess. So yeah, Izuku had filled out UA or Shiketsu High. Shiketsu High. And that is where I'm going to leave it off here because I have to go eat dinner. So, bye.